Welcome, family. This is Frank Benjamin. I'm bringing you another video on how to write a script using Final Draft version 12. I did a previous video on how to write a script using Writer's Duet. So I received a lot of feedback on that, and I appreciate you. That prompted me to do a video on how to write a draft using Final Draft version 12. If you have 10, 11, or possibly 13, you should be fine. So let's get into it. So if you are a Mac user, this is what you'll see after you purchase Final Draft. If you're a Windows user, you will have the Final Draft on the desktop. It is important to let you guys know that you do not need Final Draft or Writer's Duet. What's most important is the format. Both Writer's Duet and Final Draft allows you to format the draft properly, automatically, without having to do it manually. But if you choose to do it manually, as long as you have it formatted properly. So we'll get into that. The information today is being brought to you by my personal experience, school, and there's a book called The Screenwriter's Bible, which I will put the link in the description below. So let's get into it. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to choose template. Now you have BBC, screenplay, podcast, stage play. And I know you're thinking podcast. Yes, podcast. It is good to have a script, as well as if you're a comedian, if you're doing social media content. I took mass communication, and we learned that you have to have a script. It makes it more effective. In some cases, you'll freestyle. So for this example, I have outline for what I'm saying here, but there are parts where I'm going to freestyle. But the main themes of it, I have it written down in the outline so that I won't lose focus or get off subject. So once you go here, we go to new screenplay. We're going to create a horror film screenplay. 1 second. And we're making it from scratch. So now you notice that they have the outlines, and it brings you to a blank page. What it does not do is start you on the title page. The title page is up here. So let's go to the title page real quick, and this is what it looks like. We're going to erase this, and we're going to put let's say poolside killer, right? Written by, let's say, Frank and YouTube family. Based on this, if we want to put based on a true story, and then we'll put our address and then our phone number here. And then once we put the address, I'm in Tampa, Florida, so let's say Tampa, Florida, and then phone number, we'll put 813-412-3455. If this is somebody's phone number, I apologize. I did not know. I just made this up. So we're going to close the page. Right now, when we come back here to the title page, it's all right here. Right, so when you export it, it'll export alongside with your script. So our script starts on a blank page and at the scene heading. So the scene heading is where we're going to describe the scene. In this situation, we're going to put exterior, cut poolside killer. And notice when we hit tab, well, first I want you to notice that when you hit E, it automatically gives you the option. If you go back, you have interior, exterior, IE. Interior if it's inside the home, exterior if it's outside, and IE if you're transitioning from inside to outside. So if you want the scene to start with someone walking from the living room to outside, and you will put IE. So for this situation, we're going to put exterior, and notice how it's spaced. This is the format that I was telling you earlier in the video, of how you want that space between the period and where you're going to write the location. So for this one, it will be the house pool. Then I'm going to hit tab, and then notice it gives us day, night, afternoon, morning, evening, later, moments later, continuous, etc., etc. Dawn, dusk. So for this one, we're going to put night. So this is the exact format, the proper format of the scene heading. You noticed up here, you have the scroll down: scene heading, action, character, parenthetical, dialogue, transition. We're only going to focus on scene heading, action, character, and dialogue for this video, right? So now we're in the scene heading. Once we hit enter, we're on the action. So you always want to make sure, if you're using Final Draft, where you are, because in some situations you can hit, especially when we're doing the character, you hit enter and it can take you to action instead of dialogue, and you want to make sure that the dialogue is indented properly. So now we're on the action. So action, we're going to get into character, what the character is doing. The first time that you bring a character on screen, you want to capitalize that person's name. So for this, we're going to use Jamie. Jamie, 20, with dark hair, is on a floater in the pool, right? Now, Jamie has on a bathing suit and is texting on her phone when she suddenly hears a noise, right? So now we're going to hit enter. So you see how it takes us back to another action. We can use another action, but you want to refrain from that. As you will read in that book, The Screenwriter's Bible. It's a really good book, and I suggest everyone to buy it. I'm not being sponsored by them at all. I just love it, and it gives you kind of a cheat sheet on how to write scripts. So you don't want to keep putting actions in here because you want to show, not tell. We're not writing a novel. You want to keep it straight to the point. So for this one, we're now going to go to the character, right? Remember I said that it doesn't always translate. So I think Writer's Duet has a better system in translating. But yes, it doesn't. It goes straight to action. So now we want to make sure that we're in character, because now we want the character to say something. We're gonna get rid of that later. So now, Jamie, remember we don't have to capitalize it again. It's gonna capitalize it anyway, but in the action you don't have to capitalize it. So Jamie, and when we hit enter, now you see it then goes to the action. It went to the dialogue. This is important if, again, you want to write this or write a script in Word and not in Final Draft and Writer's Duet, because you have to pay. I'm not sure how much Final Draft is. We receive Final Draft as part of our school package. I attend Full Sail University. I think it's $100 flat out. I can be wrong, but I know that Writer's Duet is $10 a month, which would equate to $120 a year. So or you can get a flat, buy it flat out, I think for a little under 100. I can't remember, but we're gonna hit cancel. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the dialogue. So again, the dialogue, you want to show, not tell. You don't want to go in too much detail. So for this one, Jamie, she's saying hello. Who was there? Hello, who was there? Hello. So now we just did the dialogue. We said hello, who was there? She startled. This, you don't want to put too much again in the action. So when, as director, you're going to direct the actor on how she should respond. So that's why I put hello in capitals. Who was there? Hello. So it's setting up a sense of scene, because this is what the camera is going to see. The camera is going to see Jamie floating in the pool. She's texting on the phone and she hears the noise. She stops, she looks up. Hello, who is there? Hello. Now, it brought us back to the action, because this is where you want to go into what the actor is doing, but not too much. Jamie hears a second sound of something breaking. Jamie looks around, she hears as Jamie anticipates, she hears another sound of something breaking, right? Again, we want to keep the action short and simple. We don't want to go too much, because again, we're not writing a book, so we don't want to go too much into what Jamie's doing. She just anticipates, because now she's looking, she's waiting to hear, to see something, or someone to say something, but she hears another second sound of something breaking. Now we're going back to the character, because now we want Jamie to say something again, right? Or you can go straight into the action of her getting out the pool, but we'll get there. Jamie, she says she's going to say, let's say Sean, Ashley, come on guys, stop playing. So now we're insinuating that Sean and Ashley are either relatives. She could be at a pool party. She could have broke away from her friend and say she want to take a swim. She thinks that it's her friends playing tricks on her. That's a horror story. So you could, to build that suspense, to build that suspense, you could have it to where her friends come out and they are playing the trick on her, and then later on, a couple of minutes later, she gets killed by actual killer that's there. You can play it that way. It's up to you. This is just giving you a general idea, basically, of how the script should be written. So now, here is where the action. Jamie exits the pool, grabs a towel, and then investigates the noises. So, also another thing too, it would be helpful if you subscribe to Grammarly, and put it as an extension, so that way you can fix the errors as you go, because the worst thing that you want to do is to finalize a script or finish a script and then notice that you have a lot of grammatical errors. Now you have to go back and rewrite the whole thing over again. So adding Grammarly as an extension allows you to correct the mistakes that you have at the same time, in real time. And this is important because when you go in front of an agent, or if you go in front of somebody and you're looking to sell the script, or you want someone to read your script or invest into your project, you want to make sure everything is professional and uniform, and that's why these indents and certain things matter. So if you're writing the script by hand and you're not in the Final Draft Pro, Writer, or any other software, you want to take note of this. You want to take note of the scene header. You want to take note of the action. You want to take note of the dialogue. And also for the dialogue, you want to make sure that you do not have more than 3 sentences per person. Unless it's a real dramatic dialogue, you don't want to have more than 3 sentences per character. And go watch a movie, and I want you to go watch a movie and then pay attention. See how many sentences a person say each dialogue. Again, unless it's something real dramatic, they have to say a lot. But you want to keep, throughout the short film or film, keep the actors' lines to a minimum of at least 2 to 3 sentences. I try to go 2, no more than 2, but 2 to 3 sentences, because you can say a lot. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, and that's why you don't put too much into these lines, right? And again, it'll tell you that in the Screenwriter's Bible. Now, how to save it. Once we have the title now, Poolside Killer, and when you come up here to save, you want to save it as a PDF if you want to share it so others can read it. The reason you don't want to save it normally or export it normally is because what'll happen is, let's go to export. I'll show you. You see, it's in the Final Draft text, so only those who have Final Draft text will be able to open your script. So you just want to make sure when you do save it, you can save as normally. You can save as, you can put where you want to save it at, and then bring it back up to finish it. But if you're done with it and you want to save it and you want others to read it, you want to save it as a PDF, right? So that's just something to remember, so that you won't save the whole thing. Now again, like I said before, whether it's Final Draft, Writer's Duet, or any other writing software, you want to make sure that if you're not using those, you want to make sure you have it formatted properly. This is the beginning of a script, and or hard script that we wrote together, and you can use it. So I think I'm pretty much covered everything for how to start a script, how to write it. Just make sure again that you don't have more than 3 sentences. You don't put too much into the action. What I mean by that is you don't want to say suddenly here's a noise, right? You don't want to say she's startled and she's looking everywhere and she has a unique expression on her face, because again, we're not writing a novel, we're just writing a script. The thing with movies is, that's why if you notice, books have 600 pages, but the movie will be an hour and 30 minutes. It's condensed because in the book there's a lot of detail, because the writer wants you to visualize everything that they're writing about. Whereas in film, we're going to show you that. So when she's looking startled, we're going to show you that. If she's looking scared, the actor is going to show you that in her facial expressions. So we just need the key actions of what's going on, what is being said, and what is being done, and that's it. And then everything else, creatively, will be expressed through the actors acting. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, the Writer's Duet video should come up either top left or top right. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment. I'll respond as soon as I can. Like, subscribe, and follow me on social media. All my links is in my bio. And you have a good day.